You're probably asking yourself, how did we get here? Alright, I know more than a few survivors out there who look down on this strategy, and yeah, sure, it's not the most fun being on the receiving end of it. For this video, I'm going to be doing a case study where I was playing as killer going up against 4 survivors who were ultimately the cause of their own downfall. By using one of these scenarios as an example, we'll be able to see what went wrong, what the survivors were doing wrong, which some of it should be evident, and then what they could have done or should have done to better their situation. Alright, so from the start, shall we? So real quick, let's just break down all the information I've been given so far. Using this information helps me as killer determine the best course of action. There's the Quentin I'm currently chasing, and then there's the Nancy, who should be getting out of the area to find one of her fellow teammates or repair a generator. Steve just went from injured to healthy, which tells me he either is running self-care, he found a medkit in a chest, or he got healed by Yui, who is more than likely the one who finished that generator, possibly with the help of Steve. And although I'm running Thanophobia, which is only tier 2, that's still a 9% regression penalty for the repairing actions. Unfortunately, I lost Quentin, but fortunately I found Nancy, which tells me she didn't leave the area, so now I definitely know 2 of the survivors who are injured are within my radius. Both of these survivors both made the mistake of not getting out of my vicinity when they had the opportunity. Now Quentin does manage to loot me for a fair bit of time, however, he should have used this opportunity to try and lead me away from Nancy. Instead, he's choosing to loot me in the same area as her, which is going to prevent her teammates from coming over and picking her up. Now this is just a horrible idea on all accounts, because he is not in the proper position to even get that flashlight off. I had my back turned to him, and if he thinks I'm going to be dumb enough to just walk into his flashlight, then you kind of deserve to go down. For Quentin, this is just a literal waste of time. You should have gotten away while you had the chance. Steve should have just stayed hidden and waited for me to hook Nancy and then chase Quentin and then use that opportunity to go for the hook rescue. Because by alerting me of his presence, that's not going to happen. I know what you're going to do. There's no reason for me not to guard this area. And that brings our total number of survivors within my radius to 4. All of them. Yui should just stayed on gens, that way they have at least one of their teammates working on objectives. Steve should have stayed hidden, and waiting me for to hook one of them, and then to chase the other. Like, why is Yui still around me? Like, just leave. Go. And yeah, that was a hit I definitely should have taken, so that's bad reaction on my part. These guys have been trying to pick each other up for like the last couple minutes. I'm catching on to what you're trying to do. But at a certain point in the game, you need to take notice of the killer's behavior and patterns, as well as being aware of your own. If you remain unpredictable, you may increase your odds at surviving. However, if you remain predictable, the killer's gonna know what you're gonna do and will be able to plan ahead of time. And this means nothing but trouble for you and your team. Although this isn't a bad attempt at a flashlight save, she actually had better positioning than Quentin definitely did. I would still not advise this, as if you cannot reliably get a flashlight save, don't try it. And the way things have been going so far, this is just not a good idea. This isn't a terrible idea on Steve's part because everybody is already down except for him, so I can't blame him too much. However, he probably should have waited to see if I was going to pick up Nancy, or if I was going to double check, which I did. That being said, at the stage at which this situation has arrived at, there's not a whole lot he can do. However, if he had borrowed time, that would have totally changed the situation. And now is where we come full circle. So one of the biggest sins that these survivors committed this game was that they were still injured and yet they stayed around me. Don't ever do that. Don't flock together. Don't crowd around the killer. It's not going to end up well. It's going to end up with multiple people being injured, and then it's going to be wasting your own time when you could have been doing generators. And instead, you're just going to be playing into the killer's favor at this point. Also, if you're not reliably good with flashlights, don't do that. Just get away. Do something else. Don't attempt it unless you're going against a really bad killer or somebody who's new to killer. You're not only hurting yourself, but you're going to end up hurting your team even more. And finally, remember to apply some sort of pressure. The main form of this being generators, because if generators are popping all around me, I am not going to be wasting my time trying to do a slug. Instead, I'll go to the other generators that haven't been repaired yet to make sure they're not getting finished, because the last thing a killer wants is for all those gens to pop and the exit gates to be powered. Also, a disclaimer, I'm not claiming to be the best killer. I know there are better killers out there, but I definitely see these situations occur more often than not. And so I thought I'd make a video helping out other survivors who might be the problem themselves. Alright guys, that's gonna be it for me for this video. I hope you liked it. Let me know in the comments below if you think there's anything I missed, anything I can improve. And if you'd like to see more content like this, then leave a like and subscribe. I hope this video helps you and at least teaches something. This is my first time making a video like this, but yeah, that covers it. So good luck out there and have fun in your next trial.